Hello and welcome to my tutorial on using Quizizz, which is an app and website very similar to Kahoot if you've used that in class. However, I find this one to be more useful and it has more qualities that can make it a lot easier to make quizzes quickly and then to put them in different formats, especially if you have students who aren't able to use phones. So let's get started. I have some Quizizz practices on our civics pages, and even if you don't have an account, you can open one up. So I'm going to go to this one right here. So getting an account is free, but if you don't have an account, you can still look at the quizzes and you can still play these quizzes with your students. I've made mine public. So this is a quiz I made about internet use, and you can see the questions here, and it's a multiple choice answer. If you don't have an account, you can just go to Play Live and you can have your students play live in class, just like you would with Kahoot. I just delete this. They want you to make an account, but instead we'll just play it what we would do in class. So before I get started, I'm going to turn off the play music. I don't want all the student devices to be playing music. I'm going to leave the question timer on. I'm going to leave the leaderboard on. The quiz review I'm going to leave, showing the answers and shuffling the questions and answers. And then I press proceed. So what happens is, once again, I have to give the information of join.quizizz.com to my students, and they need to enter a code. Since I'm doing this just as a demo, I'll just show you an example here on an example phone. So I put in the code, and then I enter my name, and the game starts. I get an avatar, and students, of course, slowly pop up here as you get the names. Once again, this is a nice little tidbit. You can delete people's names if they put an inappropriate name or something, or there's dual names. You can easily do that as the teacher. And then once you have all the students on it, you can press Start Game. And you have to click on your phone to proceed. And as you can see on the board, for what I would see as the teacher, I can see exactly what the students are going to do, how they're doing. So here we are on the phone, and we have the question and the 4 answers. So here the answer is e-commerce. Once I give the answer, there's a meme that comes up. It also says that I'm correct. It also shows me the answer. Not only that, but I can see that I've gotten the first answer right. So now let's look at another one. Let me put the wrong answer for this one. I'll say search engine. Okay, so now it's clearly not right. And now it gives me the correct answer, and it moves on to the next one. Notice how I can look on the leadership board and I can see I got that one wrong. So it's a very nice program. I notice that my students really enjoy it. It's very easy to learn. It's very intuitive for students, especially if they don't know a lot about the internet. And they can have a lot of fun while still practicing and learning some of the material we have covered in class. So for the time being, I'm going to end game. Okay. And now that I've ended the game, what I like is that I can see exactly how my students did. Which questions did they get right or wrong? Now, obviously here I have it skipping because I shuffled my questions, and so it gave them the questions at a different pace depending on where they were sitting. I like this just because it's individualized for the students instead of being everyone playing at the same time. It's really nice, especially because of just getting this option also to review the questions. So I could do that as a class and talk about which one is correct and go through these. The other thing I can do is export the results. I can get them as an Excel spreadsheet. So I can look at them at home and decide how did they do, what did they do well, what did they not do well. So I really enjoy this a lot. However, I really think it's a great thing to have an account with them. Personally, I think having an account allows you to do more, and it's actually a very easy system. So for example, let's say I'm here Now what I can do is I can take one of my quizzes. Let's look at that internet use quiz again. Now instead of playing live, another option I have is I can assign it for homework. And what I like about this is I'm not dealing with the stress of trying to get all the students onto the board at the same time. I noticed that in my classroom it can take a long time to get all the students there. So I can give it a due date. And then once again, I can shuffle questions. And for this one, I'm not going to show the leaderboard. I'm not going to have a question timer because they're all taking at different times. And I'm not going to play the music. And then I press proceed. So now I have the game code. And whenever I want to in class, I can tell them, here's the Quizizz game code. I want you to go to join.quizizz.com. And then they can play. So they have to do this by November 8th is what the assignment became, and then they have to do this either at home, or I can do this in class and everyone's doing it at their own pace, which I like as well. One of the reasons I like that is that then later on I get a report. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of homeworks. I assigned homework for my students and I got a report. So here's a quiz I made from Unit 4. And I have, as you see here, a bunch of my students did it. I can see how many times they did it, and then I could see if they got it correct or not. Many of my students take it over again, and that's fine, but I find it really helpful to get to see. The other thing I can do is an overview. I can see exactly which questions did they get right, which ones did they get wrong, and I could print this out if I wanted to. Now let's go on to create a quiz. If you needed to make a quiz fast, let's say that you have you need to do a quiz and you don't have the time to make you need to do it in a quick very quickly. I find that the creating a quiz here is actually really nice because you actually have a lot you can rely on to make the quiz. So let's just call this test. I'm going to make it public. Let's say that I want to make this quiz about food with my class. What I can do is I can search questions that are already made from quizzes already made, and I can add individual quizzes to my account. I don't have to take the whole quiz. I can actually just nitpick and take specific parts. So I'll do food vocabulary. And now that I did that, I have a ton of different quizzes that I can look through. And I can see are they very easy? Are they difficult? Now this one's in French, which would be wonderful if I was teaching French. This one's in Spanish. Okay, so I can do different things. But here we go. So I could do something like this. I like this one a lot because I can talk about exactly what the foods are. So what I do is there's this little button over here and I just press add, and now it's already on my quiz. So I'll take this one. I'm not going to take this one. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. I'll take this one because I love chocolate. And when I'm done, I can press close. So what I can do is with the quiz I have, I can also add new questions, make my own. I can add images, and then I can add in my information. I can also move around my answers. So I can also set the time limit. How long do the students have? Maybe they have 20, 30 seconds. It's your decision. And then what the answers could be. Of course, you need to make sure you have something as correct. And what I like about this program is it usually tells you if you're missing adding which one of them is correct. When I'm done, I go to finish and I save the information. All right, so that's how we do this. And then the other thing I want to show you, I'm going to cancel out of here and go back here. The other thing I want to show you is with your quizzes, let's say, for example, this can be very difficult for students maybe that are older, that have a hard time with using the internet. You have this option called print. And with this, you can print your quiz. And it gives me the pictures and everything, and then it gives me the options, and I can save this. I can make this into a PDF, into a Word document, and use it in that way too. All right. Well, that is everything about Quizizz in 10 minutes. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you try out Quizizz.